Malaysian Airlines MH370. How can a plane disappear in this age? On March 8, 2014, at 12:42 a.m., Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, heading to Beijing. On board were the 239 people, including businessmen, tourists, children, and families. At first, this flight seemed like any other commercial flight, but what happened next will make it one of the most frightening mysteries in aviation history. Just 38 minutes after takeoff, the plane suddenly disappeared from civilian radar screens. It was as if it had simply ceased to exist. There were no distress signals, and the pilot did not issue any warning. But this incident was not just an ordinary accident. Surprise, the plane changed its course. Unusually, at that moment, military radars began to show something strange. The plane suddenly changed its course. Instead of heading to Beijing, the plane headed towards the Western Indian Ocean. The path the plane took was so precise that it could only be explained by pre-planning or external intervention. These changes were not the actions of a normal commercial airliner, but rather indicated that there was another force guiding the plane. The current plane was moving away from surveillance, as if it had escaped to an unknown location. This was not just an accident. There was something dark behind it. Darker? Was the plane hijacked? The hijacking hypothesis topped the list of doubts. Some experts asserted that the plane may have been hijacked, but in a strange way. If the hijackers did it, why didn't they contact anyone? And why didn't they ask for a ransom? In traditional plane hijackings, demands are usually announced, but in this case, everyone was in the dark. Satellite. Strange signals from the sky. The plane continued to fly longer than expected. 7 more hours of flight after it disappeared from the radar. This long time made everyone wonder what was happening inside the plane. In those dark hours, the Hanker Inmarsatyu satellite recorded weak signals from the plane. These signals indicated that the plane was trying to communicate. Some believed that the plane was calling for help. Others believed that the signals were screams from the depths of the ocean. But what was really happening? Was the plane in a state of partial collapse? Or was the plane continuing to fly on an unknown mission? Where did the plane disappear? The search continued for several months, even several years. Thousands of nautical miles in the Indian Ocean were examined without anyone finding a single trace of the plane. In 2015, some parts of the plane hut appeared on the beaches of Madagascar and Mozambique, such as pieces of a plane wing. But these parts appeared one by one, as if the plane slowly disintegrated into the sea, and each part appeared in remote places, far from each other. What happened? Did the plane crash into the sea? Or was there something else that made it disappear? Well, the passengers. What happened to them? The passengers were on board when the plane changed course. But were they awake? Did they feel what was happening? There are those who believe that the plane experienced a loss of oxygen in the atmosphere, which caused the passengers to lose consciousness while the plane continued to fly automatically. What if the plane had suddenly exploded? But why did it continue to fly for several hours after that? How could this have happened? scary theories about what happened to the plane. As the search continues, scary theories have begun to form about what happened to the plane. Some believe that the plane was testing new technologies under the supervision of secret forces, and that the plane may have been part of a larger plot involving unknown government experiments. 1. Mysterious hijacking by an unknown force. There are those who believe that the plane was under the control of a hidden, invisible force, which directed the plane to a remote location out of sight. Why did the hijackers' demands not appear? Why did no one speak up? 2. The pilot and mass suicide. Another hypothesis says that the pilot may have decided to commit mass suicide, and that he was the one who stopped the plane from existence. Did he suffer from deep psychological problems? Did the pilot have personal motives that led to this plane's terrible disappearance? 3. The plane was smuggled. Some believe that the plane did not crash, but was smuggled to a secret location, out of sight. Was the plane part of a secret government plot? Were the passengers part of a secret experiment? Or were they perhaps held in a secret location? Endless conspiracies. Given the mystery surrounding this incident, some have begun to link the plane's disappearance to an international conspiracy. Was the plane hijacked for military or experimental purposes? Was the pilot carrying classified information about advanced technologies that were being tested on the plane? There are those who believe that the plane was a scapegoat one for something bigger, something that needed to be hidden. Why hasn't the plane been found? Regardless of what happened to the plane, the question remains, why hasn't it been found to this day? The Indian Ocean is one of the deepest oceans in the world, and if the plane did explode or crash, how come the pieces are so small, and no one has discovered the entire wreckage?